He didn't even make it to the starting line, folks. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Vivek Ramaswamy, former presidential candidate, would-be influencer, wannabe oligarch, and Donald Trump's pick to run the Department of Government Efficiency, will announce a new career move, according to sources. This before he's even started his new job. Ramaswamy, of course, has never held elected office, but rose to fame in 2023 and 2024, peddling conspiracy theories during his run for president on the Republican ticket. Some of Ramaswamy's most dubious claims include saying that the January 6th attack was, quote, an inside job, unquote. Ramaswamy also said that big tech stole the 2020 election and that the Great Replacement conspiracy theory was, quote, the Democratic Party's platform, unquote. In case you're unfamiliar, that's the claim that the Democratic Party wants to replace white Americans with immigrants. That's really funny, considering he's the son of immigrant parents. Ramaswamy also asked whether federal agents were on the planes that hit the Twin Towers during the September 11th attacks, implying that the 9/11 attacks, which were carried out by al-Qaeda, were actually a false flag operation. He's also said climate change is a hoax. On the campaign trail, Ramaswamy also promoted the United States as a Christian nation, though he himself is Hindu. During the campaign, Ramaswamy also came under fire for paying editors to scrub his Wikipedia page, removing any mention of his connection to Democratic donor George Soros, or that he participated in Ohio's COVID-19 response team. They promoted vaccination. Needless to say, all these positions, along with his lack of experience, did not endear Ramaswamy to GOP voters. No wonder he's kept his lips hermetically sealed to Donald Trump's posterior ever since. Following Trump's election, Ramaswamy was set to head the new Department of Government Efficiency opposite Elon Musk. Today's news suggests he may not even make it that far. Previously, it had come to light that Ramaswamy was lobbying Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio for an appointment as a U.S. Senator. Ramaswamy wanted to fill the seat vacated by J.D. Vance, who will have to leave when he becomes vice president. Check this out.
I'm not going to go through names. I'm just not going to do it.
Governor Mike DeWine is tasked with appointing someone to the U.S. Senate. The seat is open because J.D. Vance had to resign ahead of his vice presidential inauguration next week. Right after the election, DeWine said the list of possible appointees is long.
We have great people in the state of Ohio who could serve very well in the United States Senate.
As we near Inauguration Day, the list is supposedly narrowing. Lieutenant Governor John Husted, who some consider the frontrunner, told me last week he's considering all options. But now, some of my sources tell me it's Ohio businessman Vivek Ramaswamy's to turn down. Here's what he said about the open seat 2 days after the election.
Trump's decisive victory on Tuesday opens up a lot of possibilities to change the country. We're obviously having discussions.
Ramaswamy described himself as an executive by background and said he wants to put that skill set to use no matter where he's positioned.
Donald Trump reportedly also pressured DeWine to appoint Ramaswamy to the role, despite Vivek not even being on DeWine's shortlist. Earlier today, DeWine announced that Lieutenant Governor John Husted will fill Ohio's open Senate seat. With Ramaswamy's senatorial hopes now dashed, he has a new job in mind. The Washington Post now reports that Vivek has his eyes set on the Ohio governorship. Sources close to Ramaswamy tell the Post Vivek's base plan remains the same: to get accomplishments at DOJ, then announce a run for governor shortly. In the same article, the same source goes on to say that Vivek told him the statement is drafted. It is ready. The Ohio gubernatorial election will not be held until November 2026, meaning that Ramaswamy is getting an early start, to say the least. It's not clear if he also intends to remain in his full term in his soon-to-start job as co-head of DOJ, or if he intends to focus solely on his campaign. In theory, he could do both. Donald Trump has said that DOJ's work will be completed by July 2026. Believe that when it happens. And by the way, does anyone else smell desperation here? Ramaswamy lost the race for president, and he lost his chance to be appointed to fill an Ohio Senate seat. So what happens if he loses the race for governor? Will he settle for comptroller or something? County coroner? Given that he's never won an election, we're not even sure he could land that gig. Maybe Trump could land him a job judging the Miss USA pageant, though we're not sure he's qualified for that job either. We'll see what happens with Ramaswamy's announcement and how the people of Ohio react. We would be remiss not to note that despite Trump's favoring him, Vivek still has all the same political liabilities he had in the 2024 election. Personally, I've always thought Ramaswamy's real ambition was to become famous and land a job as a right-wing wonk on cable news. Not that he's really qualified for that either. And not that even the furthest right-wing TV audience would ever have any interest in him. Our advice? Go home, Vivek. You're not wanted. This is Occupy Democrats.